does, yeah.
Service Committee, 25th Navajo Nation Council special meetings, September 6th in lieu of September 18th, 2023, 8 a.m. We do have a quorum here. With that, I will go ahead and call the meeting to order here at the Budget and Finance Committee conference room at 8:18 a.m. And so with that, I will go ahead and ask that to do roll call.
Good morning, Chair, members of the Health, Education, Human Services Committee. Roll call for September 6, 2023, Budget and Finance Conference Room. Helena Nesbigay.
I'm present.
Vince R. James.
Georgia James present.
Dr. Andy Nez.
Present.
Jermaine Simonson. George Toth. George Toth did not answer roll call. Curtis Yanito. Curtis Yanito didn't answer roll call. Chair, you have 4 members present, including yourself, 2 absent, which constitutes a quorum.
Thank you, staff, for that roll call vote. With that, we do have a quorum here. So with that, we will move on to the next item, which is invocation. We get Honorable Dr. Andy Nan, can you assist us with the invocation this morning?
Good morning, everyone. You know, Dave and like that for coming into the budget conference of the meeting. I'll ask some for today. So just wanted to talk a bit.
Yeah, Honorable Dr. Andy Nance, you got quite a invocation this morning. Perhaps. Other announcements, committee members, are there any announcements here? Committee members, twice, 3 times, there's none. So with that, we'll move on to item number 2, which is recognized guests and visiting officials. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Health, Education, Human Service Committee members, and then also Navajo Preparatory School, Bennett, and then we also have representatives from our now information veterans office as well. We do also have individuals that are on the call. So good morning to everyone. With that, I'd like to move on to the next item. If there is no other recognition of guests and visiting officials, committee members. If there is none, I will go ahead and move on to the next item, which is item number 3, review and adopt the agenda. With that, staff, can you assist us with the review and adopt the agenda?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Good morning, Mr. Chair and members of the Health Education Human Services Committee. You have your proposed agenda for the Health Education Human Services Committee, 25th Annual Council Special Meeting, September 6, 2023, in lieu of September 18, 2023, 8 a.m. Presiding the Honorable Ben Sardines, Chairperson, the Honorable Jermaine Simonson, Vice Chairperson, place of the Budget and Finance Conference Room, via telecommunications, when you're off Navajo, Arizona. 1, call meeting to order, roll call, invocation, announcements. 2, recognize and visiting officials. 3, review and adopt the agenda. 4, review and adopt the journal scan. 5, receiving reports. 8, a report and overview by the Navajo Preparatory School, the topic of the new student residential facility on campus. Presented to Shauna A. Defensive Head of School for Navajo Preparatory School. 6, old business none. 7, new business. A is legislation number 0218-23. 8, close the meeting and announcement adjournment. Mr. President.
Thank you for that, Ms. Benali. Committee members, do I have a motion? Motion made by Vice Chair Jermaine Simonson. Second, do I have a second? Second made by Lena Nancy Gay. So with that, we do have in here, motioning parties. I'd like to make a request to you to delete other new business legislation number 0218-23. We did add that to yesterday's agenda, and it was already approved by Health Education Human Service Committee. So we don't need to take action on that this morning. So I'm requesting to keep that item. Vice Chair any sentences?
Yes.
Honorable Helena Nancy. So with that, are there any other add-ons, deletions, corrections to the agenda? We're going 2 times, committee members, 3, Honorable George Pope.
Good morning. Chair. Members, listeners. Really, want to add an item that we could talk about. This pertains to veterans. I've been getting calls from left to right. We need to talk to the president, also director. There's a lot of and all you are saying they're going to leave their position because of the need to buy people names. Along with Lester Yazzie, he was appointed for the Speaker's office as a liaison. But there's some song. This is a crucial, and this coming from the veterans themselves. There's a lot of issues. There's no, I guess there's been bullying around by the organization, department, administration from the agency are complaining, and there's some power by heating cup, and this could be an all-day meeting. How can we get through the director and the president? And other issue too. Your authority to nonsense. It means a lot, so it. So I've been with the veterans of seats that I came back, so. A lot of issues going around. You're not being provided it, but it's so motion party. So. All without the what you believe. the insurance. You know, all the so we can represent goes out and illustrate the money. Since it's not working. Yeah. I think we need to give them just my values are really concerned. We have a lot of issues that we have to stop. A chair.
Again, Honorable Cole, thank you for that request. So we can probably put it under the receiving report and then just indicate it as scheduled a date and time to meet with Navajo Department of Veterans Office. When we get to that particular item, we can go ahead and discuss on the relevant dates. And then some times that we could share with the department and then OPDP. So is that okay? Motion party, vote to Anderson?
Elaborate, so that way tomorrow, that's what we're meeting on.
Okay. So with that, we'll do that under the reports and then just find a date and a time to relay that information to now information of departments of the Veterans Office so later and then OPDP. So with that, committee members, unhold Dr. Andy Nance.
Should I check in? I know during yesterday, I see on the proposed agenda, education fiscal year 22 budget review and revision request, number 1030 was requested to be deferred today. I'll put that if we're going to have that into today's agenda. So I want to get clarity on it first from our chair. I know that was your request, and that still stands. If we can have it to today's agenda.
Thank you, Honorable Dr. Nan, for that. At this point, I believe that Ms. Thompson did relay the information that there's no more budget transfers. The deadline has passed, and so we can't do anything with the budget at this point. So there's no need to have further discussion regarding the budget. So the deadlines have passed, so we can't do it. So we will set this whatever budget we have. They gave an excellent that was the further, but that was coming from the Thompson, so we don't need to add that to the agenda. We want to have a discussion on the agenda if we want.
Chair?
Ms. Thompson?
Yes, I did let you know about the request and the deadline that came up with the budget transfers. I do have the budget summary report. I can go ahead and share that with you all. And then what we have with what I received off FMIS on the ledger, I can go ahead and share that with you.
So are you requesting for it to be added?
No, I can just go ahead and pass it to you as written. And then, but other than that, there's really, like I said, there's really nothing that we can do because the budget transfer deadline was already on Friday.
All right, then,
Okay.
thank you. So we'll go ahead and receive those on next from Ms. Thompson. So with that, there's no other items as add-ons, corrections, solutions to the agenda. Committee members. We do have a motion made by Vice Chair Don Simonson, and then also second by Honorable Nancy Gay. Committee members, if there's no others, I will go ahead and call for a roll call vote. Honorable Unito. Green. Honorable Cole. Green. Honorable Dr. Nance. Green. Honorable Simonson. Green. Honorable Nancy Gay. Green. With that, we do have 5 in favor and chair not voting. With that, we do have a special meeting September 6th in lieu of September 18 agenda before us. With that, we will move on to the next item. Item number 4, review and adopt the journal. There is none. Item number 5, there's a Cleveland report. A report overview now for preparatory school topic, new students with residential facility on campus. Presenters, we have Shauna A. Vicente, head of school, Navajo Preparatory School. We do have the presenter here, so we will go ahead and move forward with the presentation of the new student residential facility on campus, which is the topic and the presentation for this morning. So with that, you will have 20 minutes, Ms. Vicente, to provide your presentation. After that, I will call for a motion in a second. And if there is any questions or any comments at that time, we'll entertain it at that time as well. So so with that, are there any questions, Mr. Sente? If there is none, I'll go ahead and give you the floor to begin your 20 minutes on presentation. Thank you. The floor is yours.
Fiance Abena, Shimon, Jay Sean Allison, this engineers, yeah. Knowledge budget, chief name for. FP 515, might excuse me, that's the check over the Shimon, thank you so much for this opportunity to present some really exciting news for Navajo Preparatory School. Navajo Prep, just to kind of give you a background of who we are and what we stand for. Our mission of our school is Yidas Congo Natani, and leaders now into the future, and that really guides how we approach school, how we approach curriculum, how we approach design, how we approach learning and experiences on campus, and then how are we redefining Indian boarding school, residential living for our students here in the 21st century. Our vision at Navajo Prep is to create compassionate and caring homes where the Navajo Prep community thrives. We strive to instill a strong sense of self-identity, cultural foundation, and global awareness in our students. Through this holistic approach to education, we prepare our students with tools and knowledge they need to become leaders within their communities on a regional, national, and international scale. Navajo Prep fosters an inclusive environment that welcomes all individuals by removing barriers. And that is our vision of our community and a vision that we all came together to write. We are rooted in our values of relationships, value in being balanced, a value in fostering grit, and a value in strengthening agency. And so I just wanted to share, like, our number one and our focus is our students. They are our why. Our children are why we exist as an institution, and our why is why parents invest in our school. Navajo Prep has roots to the early federal Indian policy of assimilation. Back when it was a Navajo Methodist mission school in the late 1800s, early 1900s. So the grounds that remain come from the Navajo Methodist mission. It transitioned into Navajo Mission Academy, and then in the era of Indian self-determination, Navajo Academy. And then in 1991 is when the Navajo Nation said, Navajo Prep is our college preparatory school of the nation. In 1991, resolution ECMY 33-91, this committee made that commitment to Navajo Preparatory School. In 1995, the nation purchased the Methodist Mission land. And so that land that is just right below the airport, north of Walmart, west side Walmart, is Navajo Nation purchased land. We recently were reauthorized under Public Law 297 as a tribally controlled grant school to June 30th, 2026. And we went through the whole reauthorization because the nation commits to our school and allows us to be a tribally controlled grant school. We currently have 288 students, 9th through 12th grade. About 58% live on campus. We have 38 students that come from Central Agency, 59 students that come from Eastern, 44 students that come from Fort Defiance, 95 that come from Northern, 27 come from Western Agency, and then we have some that come from the outlying areas. We truly are a Navajo Nation school that represents all 110 chapters. We're very proud that we have done our research and found that those that enter college, 73% of those students finish college. If you look at the United States national average, it's 62%. And within the state of New Mexico, that college completion rate is 42%. And Navajo Prep, we have a 73%. And that's having the investment of our parents, and that's the commitment of the nation. And we've taken that ownership of 1991 to be that college preparatory school for the nation. We have 98% of our students last year, class of 2023, they were accepted into a four-year school. All our kids, we do ensure that they do graduate from Navajo Prep. Some of our outreach that we have done, we provide professional development, and because we really try to be a support for others, just as other institutions are support for us. We truly value our relationship with the NIEA. We have been presenters with NIEA, with the National Gifted Association, with New Mexico Public Education Department. We provide presentations to the U.S. Department of Education, Office of Indian Education, and then even provide support to DBOSBA. And so we really try to ensure that we're building and strengthening those partnerships across the nation. Also with Department of Education, we've assisted in an OIE grant. We also assisted in the initial conversation when we first started the COVID-19 response and response plan. So we really are thankful to the Department of Education for their support and their guidance also, and what they provide for now. Our foundation is culture, and we are supported by the Johnson O'Malley program, and also recently have built some relationships with Navajo Highways to become a fiscal agent to support a Navajo puppet program, whereas we have a film program at our school that just complements this potential language partnership. This past year, actually since 2019, we want to thank our state of New Mexico. They've invested $10 million to Navajo Prep. 7 of the million that went specifically to this student housing project that I'm going to present on here in a little bit. The other 3 million has come from supporting our safety and security and our infrastructure needs. Because we sit on an old 1900s building, we have to remember we have drainage issues and the same issues that we're dealing with to revitalize and really improve the area. So we have leveraged our funding to support that. I'm thankful for our ARPA funding. It also helped us in a lot of the growth in our technology, and also supported us in that area. The Navajo Nation has been a huge investor of Navajo Prep since '91. With the purchase of the land back in '95, they purchased that land for $590,000. In '95 to 2002, Navajo Nation helped build 3 residential, just the shells of the building, at $7.5 million between those years. And in 2006 to 2009, they helped with the $2.9 million to help with completion of other residential facilities. And so this ask that we're moving forward with is also just stayed consistent with the Navajo Nation's investment that they've had in our residential facilities. So what we have here is a student home. We pushed our designers to create it so it didn't feel like a dormitory. We wanted it to feel like a home. We wanted it to have soft spaces because this is where students live Monday through Friday, and we even have a weekenders program. Weekenders means they don't go home until Thanksgiving or even till Christmas. And we have embedded a 7-day program. One, it was out of the response of COVID, because of the internet and what we could provide and the space that we could provide for our students. And now it has become a home to about approximately 20 students who stay on weekends. So it's made us push an after school program where we can embed life skills. Because we have to remember what we were taught when we're home with our nullas and our masanas and our ama and jazz. We get taught a life skill at home. And so in this process, that is what we've embedded in this home. So what you see is about a 13,000 square foot student home. We found our admissions where we're on a wait list is residential. We've only been able to admit about 50% of the applications that we receive, because there's a need for it. And we want to be able to extend our services, the excellence of education beyond our communities. And so this is a way to do it, is providing an additional home. In the 2022 legislative session, State of New Mexico, thanks to many of our champions, our local legislators, they gave us our first $5 million. And then in 2023, the governor and another couple legislators went in and gave us additional $2 million. That allowed us to begin our build. We also know that we're building in one of the most difficult times, with construction costs now 50%. And in order for us, so because it's at 50% for materials and construction costs, we needed an additional $3 million. In this $3 million, you will see in that expenditure plan and in the documents before you that this will go through, one, ensuring the FF&E, which is basically anything that's movable in a build, from our technologies to the furniture, the bedroom furniture, and how it's been designed. Is that each section will have a den and have housing pods with Jack and Jill bathrooms. They will have washer and dryer in each of the housing pods. It will be 2 stories. And I do have a video, and I'll go ahead and share the documents that I have with me, and I'll email them out, and also emailing you a really nice video showing a time lapse. We broke ground in June of 2024, and we are scheduled for completion in April of 2024. Sorry, June of 2023, and we'll complete it by 2024. We already have the 2nd floor. This building will be built. What Navajo Prep did to ensure is taking out a $2 million loan. And so that as money is being spent and we are being reimbursed, because you have to do all this up front. You don't just get it forward funded, especially even with the state of New Mexico. So this allowed that we were being very smart with our funding dollars, but it will be built. So you see that we also have invested $1 million in pre-construction. We are shooting for LEED silver on this building. And so that comes with a lot of costs. We had to reroute electrical, we had to reroute gas lines. So there's a lot of infrastructure needs that took place. That was what was already invested into this project. So if you'll see what we have the 2-story building. You'll see some of the backsplash, the flooring. It will have multi-purpose room for collaboration. Currently in our student homes now, there's not a room for students to eat and sit and have a meal. This allows for a multi-use space. There is a healing place just to reground. When we work with students, and the students have said, we just need a space of quiet, a space to truly recenter. And so there is embedded a healing room, which is on the bottom one. And we're hoping to put a really nice landscape wall picture. It's kind of like a vinyl where you can wrap a wall. And so it will have like a really pretty wrap that we're gonna can have the students develop a picture. What is, when you think of an image in your mind where it takes you to home, when it takes you to your land, when it takes you to being within Mother Earth, that's what's gonna be a wrap. Inside, you'll have, it'll look all the way up into the sky, kind of a hogan shaped ceiling. We made sure that the kitchen was to the right when you enter. And then just that space being a really nice collaborative space. We're really thoughtful of the furniture and the design of the furniture, because when I walked Navajo Prep and we found that there was very little soft spaces. And so we were really intentional on cushions and on what the furniture would feel like. We were thoughtful of the color, making sure that it's still marketable. The goal for us was that Navajo Prep, when you walk in, it should feel like this is an institution of learning. And our children should have a space where they feel safe, where they feel comfort, and where it feels like home. I know that in this building, this is why we put, and I'm thankful to Delegate Nez for pushing a legislation and resolution for us to ask the nation for $3 million. It will be built. And this home becomes your home. And I just hope that if you have any questions on, but I can't emphasize enough that there was intentionality in every aspect of this design. From the feather-like backsplash to the mountain-like railings to the colors to everything that we are about at Navajo Prep, that this home truly embodies Navajo Prep taking education to this next 21st century. And this is what home living, when we say a residential facility, a residential school, that this is where we're starting now to redefine it for ourselves. So I thank you so much. If there's any questions that you may have, I know that I don't know, even Delegate could probably answer specifics on the resolution, but I did want to provide to you, just to kind of go over what you see in your booklet, is some information on the residential home. You'll see our residential team. You'll also see supporting documents, our one-pager that kind of gives you the highlights, gives you a background of the history. You'll see all of our resolutions. We have a committed resolution from Fort Defiance Agency, from Eastern Navajo Agency. We're going to Northern Navajo Agency. Because our kids come from every chapter is why we seek agency support. And then you'll see a timeline of the build and the construction of the build. We are in a design build contract with James Corporation and Studio Southwest. And we are just really thankful to their support. And anytime you want to come and get a tour, please, you're welcome. Right now, the second floor is up. We're just waiting for the stairs to be installed, but everything's already moving. So I want to say for all your support, for your commitment, and we just let us know how we can also be of support to HEHSC.
Thank you again, Mr. Cindy, for that presentation. With that, committee members, going to be asking for a motion made by Honorable Dr. Jimenez, second by Honorable Yunito. Committee members, are there any questions in regard to the presentation that was provided to us, and then also the presentation, the hard copy that we received before us as well. So I appreciate that information as well. Committee members, are there any additional or any other questions, comments? If not, going 2 times, going 3 times. Honorable Danto.
Thank you, Chair, members of the committee. I do support the school. I had a niece that graduated from there. He was, now she has a good job. And she went to the college. But they're now, she's an engineer, and she's in somewhere in Florida. So, and it's in town. But this school is going in the direction, so I do support that. I've been in school for a long time. And when I was there during the graduation, I noticed new building, new design, and more space. For me, continue to support your effort. Also, tell your staff you're doing a good job, even the board, okay? Yeah, about the simple chair. I do support the initiative and the probably. Thank you. Chair.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Toll, with those comments, with that, moving on, Honorable Karina Nesbitt.
Oh, yeah, good morning, Dorothy, for your presentation. I've been sitting in these budget meetings and hearing how much money goes out from the Navajo Nation to some of our youth. We spend a lot of money going out to our youth, and at this time, we have so many openings with the Department of Personnel of the Navajo Nation. It makes me wonder why our children don't want to come back and work for the nation. And because we spend so money even on their scholarship and other things, and it's just that nobody, I don't know if we even encourage them to come back. I don't know if you guys emphasize that, tell them that, to come back to the reservation, come back to the Navajo Nation, bring your expertise back and all that. And it's just something that I just wanted to comment. And I know a lot of our children, they do really well, off the reservation, to where we could bring them back and let them do that here on the reservation. It would make a world of a difference for others. And yes, getting a good education is good, but we gotta come back where our roots are. Just want to share that. Thank you. I'm Chair.
Yeah, thank you very much, for those, comments. I don't see any other committee members, Honorable Vice Chair Jermaine Simonson.
Thank you, Chair Davis and members of HEHSC Committee, Faith and Governing. Thank you, Ms. Vicente, for your presentation. I really enjoyed it, and I really appreciate any school that really takes care of their children, their youth. As you know, children or young people are basically just seeking belonging, somewhere where they belong, where they're wanted. And that's a basic, human need that I think anybody has, but more so, in children. And I appreciate that you're creating that space, and I appreciate your, I guess your self-regulation space. I often think we need one around here. But self-regulation is super important, and I really think that teaching them and honoring that for them early on is really important. And my daughter went to Chamala Indian School, and she talked about how she was able to go to the counselor's office, and they gave her options. They said, do you want to talk to me, or do you just want to hear, or what do you want to do? And so there wasn't that talk to me, let's talk about it, it was like, okay, what do you need right now? And she just was like, I just want to sit and just let me sit and by myself. And they're like, okay, good, okay, so how many minutes do you need? Oh, about 30. Okay, and that was it. And then, and then if you needed to talk about it after she could, or, and so I really appreciate that, kind of giving those kind of choices to our young folks and getting them to express what they need and how, they want to be helped or help themselves. And so I really appreciate that. I like what my sister Helena Nesbitt said about really encouraging her youth to be able to come home When we hear from Dodie and their reports and their, the scholarships that we get from Navajo Nation, they have mentioned that there's no return on investment. So we, pay for a lot of people to go to school and get education, but there's not a whole lot of folks coming back. And certainly we hear like there's no housing, there's no this, there's no that, but we're really in a world of, where I think we can work virtually, work from home. There's a lot of opportunities, and I think we really gotta kind of instill in our young people this idea of nation building that. And I often say that I really wanted to come home to experience all the things that I wanted to experience all the problems. So then that gives me an idea of, okay, how do we fix it? Because I think the only way to really fix anything is you've got to experience some problems too. And so if, you know, like I know, and I think a lot of that goes back to where these young people are coming from in the home situations. So if there's a home that, you know, is not a safe place, that has caused them a lot of hurt and shame, those are ones they don't want to come home to. They're saying, and they kind of just, they kind of affiliate that with the whole Navajo reservation, like the whole res is a bad place. And a niece who went to Flagstaff for age, and you know, she often complained that the students who lived there in Flagstaff that were Navajo often had a lot of shame about being from the res. So they would more often say, I live in Flagstaff, I'm from Flagstaff. And oh, res is like this, oh, res is like that. And she would say, no, that's not the way it is. And so, in any case, I know that those kind of, you know, tend to make you not want to come home. They make you not proud of where you're coming from. And so, I really, you know, I really like that you're instilling that pride, that Navajo pride, your language and culture. And I think that's what our youth really need. They need to feel empowered and be proud to say, I'm from the res, you know, and I'm from Navajo, so I'm from Blue Gap, or, you know, wherever, somewhere in Eastern Navajo, you know, so this really, you know, claiming their place on the reservation and saying that's theirs. And I, you know, hope you build, and it sounds like you're doing a really good job, and I'd love to come visit your facility. It sounds like you're all doing really good work, so I appreciate it. And thank you on behalf of our community, you're providing these opportunities. I saw on Facebook a couple of days ago that you all went out, I believe, on a tour of some sort. So using the outdoors of your classroom, you know, you don't just sit in a classroom and make people sit all day. That's not the way anymore. You use your surroundings, your you know, you find your environment as it becomes your classroom. There's so much to learn up there. Take into the outdoor market. Let them talk to grandma and grandpa. Let them buy, you know, steamed corn and chat with people and see who's related to who, you know, and let them introduce themselves to people, you know, like those are all really good things. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Vice Chair Simonson. We'll move on to the next one, Monica.
Oh, yeah, sure. You know, those presentations were nice. Although, you know, I've seen made in Vegas. Thanks for lunch down there. I had lunch meeting down there. I was really impressed with your presentation. And then I wanted to go visit your school. You know, I had a chance to go over there, check that out, and I was impressed again. And then being with your administrative leadership, I think you guys are going in the right direction. I really support everything that you guys are doing, writing your own grants and so forth. And I'm glad that Dr. Nancy is supporting the resolution and so forth and other chapters. I heard a lot about your school students and so forth. I I went to a board school, so I hated my board school. It was like that, relaxing and so forth, and you know, I guess time like change, we get to pay the way. And I really think that's a positive approach and they are is. Yeah, it's growing up, you know, a lot of kids, they get disturbed ahead of time. It's hard to recover, you don't recover. You live with that grief all the way through your life, and you know, sometimes you're embarrassed to say that where you went to school. And I think this is the right approach where all the kids will be happy that, you know, they'll call it like same time. We educated there. So I just want to praise you guys and keep up the good work. Yeah. So, yeah.
Thank you. Moving on about the minutes.
Yeah, Chair James, I don't know that up to your team. Thank you for traveling out and seeing this is possible. So just a few other additional from our committee members. Each year, the urban education conducts the Navajo Nation legal field assessment, and that's a magical thing. The student office, and Navajo Prep actually produces that with 1 to 2 each year for my assistants with the skill assessment. 1 year, we also accept all 15, I believe, seniors. And you know that the interest, they understand they're building that capacity, especially they're off nomination so-called territories nowadays, but being able to be in the presence of language, I think is commendable to the Navajo staff and community. Auto, the chief of scholarship as well, they produce at least 2, 3, 4, 5 every year. And during the Navajo Nation Science Fair as well, many of their students, you know, they take home a lot of the awards, and a lot of their inquisitive minds are really producing a lot of change to communities. And I know, and I appreciate Shema Honorable Nesbrigade for indicating that, because I never really thought of it like that, like how we can have students who are well equipped in education, like the influence of education primarily, but being able to contribute back to nomination. But I also see some of that contribution still happening, especially when I reflect on some of the students who come before the nomination science fair, who produce like these nice theoretics, philosophical things that make you think, you know, like this gentleman, the white hair is actually a considered Crystal, who graduated who attends Stanford, who is raising funds for now the community by selling water bottles. So it's like things like that. You think of those things, and then you think of like Dr. Wendy Gray Eyes, who produced the book and currently co-authored her second book, who is an alum of the who wrote on the history of Navajo education. And that's a good read, by the way. And so things like that, you kind of see that as well, complementing back to our Navajo people. I was also able to attend the groundbreaking facility. I'm happy to go back and enjoy it and spend the night there.
It's a little bit, we'll have a sleepover.
Look at the motel.
Also, was very honored to serve as a judge for the senior projects this May as well, and it just seemed life and first-hand experience of what our students are capable of. And these are not just students who come from Department or the local area, but across an elevation. And I think with a facility like this and student housing, you're able to do much more for longer periods of time over the weekend. And imagine how many additional students that we're able to influence at that level. So I appreciate the presentation. Committee members as well, look forward to your support as well. I cannot share that one of the biggest comments.
Thank you very much. Yeah, with that, I'll go ahead and get it back over to you. Respond to the committee.
Sure. Yeah, for the positive comments and the wonderful feedback. I think You know, it just made me reflect on what is our intentionality of that conversation and what is give back. Whether that give back be physically come home or even as, you know, Dr. Ned's alluded to, that intellectual give back, financial. We have several that are even spiritually as Hatatis, you know, coming back and providing their blessings and support for our communities that are giving back to our community in our school. We always welcome and how do we foster alumni relationships? And I think that's something, you know, that we really want to think about. And we have put together a team who's going to reach out and build those relationships. We recently welcomed the class of the 70s of the Methodist mission back to campus, and they got to reflect and how they're also being, you know, the leaders in their communities, and there are Anellas and son is, you know, now and so I will definitely look into that level of what it will take to bring our students back to our communities. I recently had a presentation from Dr. Graves, and it is astounding how many students are really our populations that leave the nation. And you know, and how can we be part of the change? How do we be a part of that economic development, that resource development and even the intellectual and academic development of our communities? It is Convenant Ani. And I know that if we really own that statement, is that there is that commitment to community and that commitment to home. So I just want to thank so much. And I love that idea of, you know, that we're all in this nation building. So thank you. For that, because nation building is what we're all in the job for. We all should be aspiring to do. And I know that's been my goal as a mom, as a teacher, as an educator and a leader. And it's great to know that there's alumni, that you have an alum. I probably know this person, but I'll have to, I think her last name is, I don't know, but it was probably when I was a teacher there. She's now in Florida. So, and I'm happy that we were able to open our campus up to you. We appreciate it. And anytime you all want to tour and come visit our school, we're always open. And we definitely can host that opening slumber party in our new building. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that, Ms. Vicente. The journal for those presentation will be in the action and the making up on the then other had just spot lay of other here of no source in the source non issue of no which is the car of the job application issue in the AR each of the other submit option 8 turns out really one day and one day not until it's a lot of with uplands checking the several things the lot of explore but no if not until really come out now then until the next part of aging factor but I don't know so aging from what the jet that will be needed back then. I don't have to from one to the jet then now the Assam the still of appreciate is really about finding out upon art is happening hard upon art in the only though then you the country of action the managed over and really the end of yeah fighting that we can't of the art in general not of Shannon the nation not from the side the other people that was in the upon so the harbor became like of yeah of event and Marco Sheen and the But committee members, go down, the motion, it's Ecuador, funding something there for Dr. Andy Nan, Paco's, Kate, Luyangi, a permit, we need of a for Canada and South. I think what she did, Ecuador, roll call, vote, each state honorable Unito. Honorable Vice Chair Simon.
Great.
Honorable Helena Mendes.
I vote green.
With that, we do have 5 in favor, chair not voting, and 0 opposed, so with that, the motion carries.
Yeah.
Congratulations and a safe travel. Enjoy. Okay, moving on to the next item, which is B, we did add on the item here. That was here a report to schedule a date and time for a report from the Nation's Department of Veterans. And so, so with that, I don't know if there is something available, they can decline, meeting learning plan.
It's not coming on over here.
Office. And then office of president and vice president as well. If we can talk to a lot and all over here and give the floor over to Ms. Fernald.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the Health Education and Human Services Committee. I did send out the emails that I CC'd the HEHSC committee yesterday, inviting the director from the Navajo Veterans Affairs Office to present today. I also sent another email to OTVQ asking them who they're representing, to attend and follow the chief of HEHSC. And also, Mr. Lester Yazzie, who is present today regarding Veterans Affairs and his position with the Office of the Speaker. However, except for Mr. Yazzie, I didn't get any reply for confirmations from OPVP or from the Veterans Office. So, what I think now is like it'll be October that you would probably schedule. I don't know if that's too late. Or sometime in the latter part of September. Might work for the veterans issues. The other dates, if I may, Mr. Chair, are dates for the I did CC the HEHSC committee regarding the Utah Navajo healthcare. They're wanting the HEHSC committee to come out to their facility at Montezuma Creek to hear the annual report. And that's probably going to take an all-day visit, just like we did with the facility added to the city. Yeah, well, yeah, not including travel.
They said they wanted to provide lodging for us, maybe like a casino.
And Mr. Chair, I did reach out to regarding the information regarding fentanyl. Doing a presentation to HEHSC. I did reach out, I did look at the CDC website and also the DEA website, and they have information on fentanyl on their website, but they didn't have any local contact information. I thought they would have one for an office in maybe Albuquerque or Phoenix, that people, that presenters that could get that information. But I did reach out to UNM, Native American Health Center, and they referred me to ECHO with the over at UNM. So I'm waiting for a response from them as to what date they might be available to present such information. So those are 2 other dates that the committee is going to have to kind of keep in mind, along with the veterans. But the veterans would be, I would think, September, in the latter part of September.
Chair.
Okay, does that complete, Ms. Canal?
Yes, yes.
Okay, now with that, honorable investigate.
This fentanyl, it's really media. We have a young girl from the chaos and get wet. I'm sure they go train that. I we know Nathaniel Simonson. Right? I don't know him last name, so they have a deep investment for him. He's Navajo. So he's in transport, but you're not looking at them. But I've heard that's a good job. I got that, and he's bilingual, that's really good. If you need his contact information, I have his phone number, so okay. If you want to-
Okay, thank you. So, yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Honorable, Hope. Back to veterans.
Veterans, so. The only thing we've already, I think, leave it up to you guys to really talk about this. It's a lot, so. I just got a call this morning from Eastern. Part of the team, administration, he's bullied and I'm to what is your goal? What is your agenda for all the veterans? But if he needs to go, yes, sir. He called me, she left because same situation. And I hate to bring this out. When your support, even the council, for the doggies of your now people are being threatened to let go. President Joe contract, even contract. This particular directive. 18 matches. The only person that should say is the president. On the Navajo contract, we should start about commit. And I will agree to the Veterans Advisory Council. He's not the two of us. Of course, I should be additional instance. If nobody supports and get to the bottom of it. Right now, Eastern Navajo Veterans Organization of the meeting at the cemetery, they had the same issue. They look at it in England. And they will join. I don't know how you feel when you in support of what I'm trying to do. I even asked Mr. Yazzie, what is your agenda? We didn't get a lead published or meeting. A lead taking to petition was not able to even talk about that. Of course, or to clinic, but at constant. Even they call me. About putting myself on the line. We talked to the chief of staff 3 or 4 times. Even directed his son. Joe Craigie, he got into the I can this out to this body. Which one I do clinic with that. So we had 4 veterans in the council chamber. With the husband going on. He was evil. But nonsense right now as today. Why I'm not bringing this issue before the committee for the tribal council. First, we met and we are that ele baixou negou, sei lá, só
And we still
I'm trying
need
to-
more, two more.
super. Logo de sentido. What can we fix? Constantly not in support of me, then I guess I have to just leave the way it is. Yeah. There's some strong points. For one man, saw that, so. We went on. Well, get a lesson. It is, sure. So it's up to you, we can just leave the way it is. Concentrate something else. We have to see if that's going to happen, probably. Just the committee and the director, the president. We can see. Not the staff, the chief of staff, well, join the challenge. That's la. You don't know how to change them. We should read that also. Because the AI contract, and now to July. We look on. It would be. So if that's gonna happen, probably in October, if we haven't scheduled. It can be. It can be good at this. Yeah, this one, we were about to come. Jeff.
I had honorable talk just not much. With that, since we're trying to address it immediately. What I can, let's send an email to President Boo Nygren. And if we can send that email this morning in regards to contract personnel policy, which is the employment status, employment practices. And then also Navajo Nation veterans management and supervisory's responsibilities. Those will be the items to discuss with President Boo Nygren and see. Let's find out when he's available. And then once we get a reply back from President Boo Nygren, we can share that information of the date and time. Of when HEHSC is willing to meet with President Boo Nygren on the second. Let's start off that. We want to do this immediately. And that's the request coming from you. So Mr. Nolly, if we can see that email. Again, it would be the contract of the director of Navajo Nation Veterans Department. And then also the personnel policy of the employment status, employment practices, and then veterans offices management and the supervisor's responsibility. Obviously, we can discuss those items with President Boo Nygren. So that would be the items in the email. So AJ, that. Adonana, attorney assigned to your oversight committees from the Wellington Fund, I believe it's a conferences register. Okay. So AJ put us, so we can do that email, and then AJ put that, so we'll do it that way on. And then another one, just real quickly here, I'll just read it to you. Good morning, 25th Navajo Nation Council. OLS attorneys are discussing at the budget sessions, and I strongly encourage you to work with the OLS attorney assigned to your oversight committee on developing and finalizing amendments to the comprehensive budget legislation. So this approach should be more effective and allow the sessions to move forward with fewer breaks necessary for OLC to develop amendments. Also, so this is pertaining to the comprehensive budget, council, so, committee members, if we were going to make amendments, we'll be working with Ms. Slow to, move forward with bringing those amendments to the comprehensive budget. The ADA,
So, Chair, so we will depend on her to be
the language with the amendment.
anything that deals with the HEHSC.
Oh, no, just overall for the whole budget, the whole comprehensive budget to be. Adi Hanani, he has wanted to make an amendment, it's conditional appropriation and legislative concern. We go through, so. Just to have it move on. Comprehensive budget, that's the email that we just found, so that's still
Christian Chair, any amendment we may follow, does draft take place.
it will all depend on what the kind of amendment they're doing. Sometimes you say, email to me, okay, you can just ask them, sit down and found this letter. Okay, so you have that, okay. So it is that, besides the veterans, just a real quick side note. So you got that information out for the email, Mr. Nolan?
Yes, Mr. Chair, and the employment status and practices, that's the employees of the Navajo Veterans
Oh.
Administration. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
And then also the veterans management and supervisory responsibility is regarding this veteran. All of the items are just involving veterans.
Okay.
Office. Yeah. Okay. So with that, we are done with that report. So with that, I'll call for a motion. And a second to move forward with this request from the director that we assigned staff is to now take care of this item immediately. Motion made by Honorable Toll. And do I have a second? Second by Honorable Curtis Unito. Committee members, are there any other questions regarding the meeting request with President Nyman? If there's not a question, goes 2 times, 3 times, I'll call for a roll call vote. Honorable Unito. In favor. Honorable Toll.
In favor.
Honorable Dr. Nance. Agree. Honorable Vice Chair Joanne Simonson.
Right.
Honorable Halima Nancy Gates. Agree. With that, we do have 5 in favor, chair not voting. So with that, the motion carries. With that, let's move on to the next item on the agenda, which is item number 6, old business, there is none. Item number 7, new business, there is none. Item number 8 is sort of meeting announcements. I do have that one announcement. I just received an email text earlier regarding the tablets that we have been working with the Navajo Unified School District. We do have more tablets that are on the way, and they're going to be providing those tablets to those students today at 2 p.m. So there's an invite that was sent over to us. So they're asking me to invite the rest of the HEHSC committee as well. So that the one I sent that text over to you guys. See, there is staff that left Phoenix and we're on their way to the Navajo as well to the school. So it is that's my only announcements that I have. I'll be going over there, so I'll be asking to be attending the council meeting 1:30 or 1:15 to get back to the Navajo. So it is so this is an invitation for you guys. Are there any other announcements? Committee members, Mr. Nolly?
Mr. Chair, I did mention earlier about the Utah Navajo Healthcare, but the HEHSC need to go out there to Montezuma Creek. And if I could give them, they wanted at least a couple of dates that I think you might be available. And then on the Monday, it could be a special meeting or it could fall on the regular meeting day. Week after council.
We can raffle about 15 to 20.
Yes, on Halloween.
That's what they're now fair.
On Halloween?
15 to 20.
Oh,
Okay. The 23rd?
I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
Is anybody available September 21st?
September. 21st.
No, we'll be closed. I'll do
Will you be at?
it. September 21st, are you available?
First,
Yeah,
Yeah, I think you and Andy and,
I'm canceling one.
oh. Okay, you didn't kill Mr. Toll, no.
The September 21st one?
yeah.
The 25th, Sean, on September 25th. Do we have any?
Sure,
trouble?
okay, we'll be up in it. It should only be there.
How about on the 25th? What about the 25th?
That's action plan for 2 days. That will be also the.
But that's on, that day of our meeting, though, that's on the 25th.
The net action plan is September 21st and 27th.
25, yeah, I mean,
25th is when our HEHSC meeting is, that's why I'm saying that.
Is there a regular meeting?
It's our regular meeting.
25th,
That's when the Denver meeting is, or travel to Denver.
Travel.
oh, yeah.
And then the 27th is when,
Yeah.
to be in Santa Fe.
But it has to go into next month then.
28, 29.
but you guys are going to 20 arrows, right?
28 is not a PLT.
You guys are going to 20 arrows.
Yeah.
That afternoon.
We do.
And did you say they're gonna cover the lobby?
This,
That's what they said
No. For the next.
No,
No, for Utah.
Utah.
That's what he said.
no, Monday.
Oh,
So I guess they're willing to cover a hotel. If they're willing to cover a hotel, we can go out there Sunday evening
and do, yeah, and do, or.
and then meet, and then be at 8:30, beginning at 8:30,
On the
September
25th.
25th.
Okay, well, yeah, if you can, I don't know who's gonna make that, I have to know what how many, so I can tell them how many members to expect.
That way we can try and get down before noon time, that will give you time to travel to the tornadoes for the net action and the Denver one. That would be-
It's not a whole afternoon to try. I mean, the songs we don't have now,
Where do you something?
The month of the month.
Did you say you're flying out of somewhere in Colorado? And then the direct flight to
No, he's
to Colorado?
Yeah.
Should be.
Right.
To Denver.
To Denver.
From there, Texas. Then we go to.
to DC.
From. No.
No, about today. They can find out from me.
Yeah, okay, I'll.
The net action plan can be, but we. Virtually.
Yeah, but if we schedule our regular HEHSC meeting at 8:30, since they're gonna cover a lot in Sunday night.
Then I can do it from them.
So, no, from Montezuma Creek to Tornadoes.
No, mine's.
Oh, you're going there, that's right, that's right. I keep thinking we're going.
Can dry.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Are you?
Yeah.
I think we have to go for this. So we have a forum, right, for the 25th? Oh, Mr. Gates,
Huh?
25th, you're okay, going to Montezuma Creek?
Yeah, oh, I think we are.
I'm available, Dr. Nez is available,
We just need one more.
Curtis and Nito.
Yeah.
Who said, oh,
That's
okay.
it.
Oh, my
So, okay, so that's four, and then these two will see how they can make their flight arrangements, and then we'll go from there. I think it-
Ellen will eat that.
Just kidding, actually.
That's.
You're fine, yes, says that too, there you
Okay, so,
go.
so ADA, hold on, make that, Mr. Knowledge, now, make that request to them to, that we would like lodging for Sunday, September 24th. That would be lodging request, and then we can meet with them beginning at 8:30 a.m.
That lodging would probably be bluffs or like.
They said that, you mom,
You Mount Casino,
that they have a motel there.
that's in Cortez, Colorado.
Oh.
That's about an hour and a half from there. What is it? They go to.
He knows. Our brother.
An hour, yeah, it should be like an hour, it's not that far.
Yes, an hour.
There is a nonstop from Durango to Denver.
Okay, so we're good then.
There's a nice facility in Bluff, though, it's not closer.
And
It's only about
Well, this is what he's doing.
So I guess, yeah, you can ask for whatever is convenient closest to our meeting on site, that would be very helpful. So it is,
you know what?
so that'd be September 25th, lodging request for Sunday, September 24th.
Okay, and if they can't provide lodging, I'll let everybody know.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Ms. Thompson?
Chair, so, the Denver trip, Mr. Toth and Vice Chair Simonson, I did get with you, both yesterday regarding your, registration fee. I did let the finance staff know that you guys already paid for your registration fee and that you were going to be reimbursed for that. When I checked into registering yesterday, it said it was sold out, so I'm just wondering if you had both got your invoices back so you can get that taken care of with finance.
No. I can call,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah,
I'll figure it out. I can call.
Okay, so, Vice Chair Simonson will take it on that.
okay,
For herself and Mr. Toll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay,
For the two. And usually in most cases, if you tell them what comes out, so then it's usually
wait, yeah,
they waive the fee.
They were trying to get people from council there.
Yeah.
So I can reach out to the lady who was trying to get me connected to them.
Yeah.
So I can reach back out to her, and if she says, yeah, then when we raise $100. So
Is it $100 or is it $1,500?
yeah, $100.
They usually do this amount to say from now, from the
Yeah.
council, and then they're gonna be how the education fees. So you guys should be good.
The only problem is I use the fee card to. And my lodging.
You're good on it.
yeah, that's
I'll
fine.
be like.
Mhm.
I'll be
Make sure it's prepaid.
Make sure they charge you,
They charge people.
They agree.
not holding or reserving, but they charge.
That's what I'm trying to get across to them.
Yeah.
Wait until you check out, we can.
No, it'll be,
So the rate on that is $140.
it's gonna decline.
It's gonna be fine, get it prepaid, before pay it now.
I mean, legit, but I was talking to the man the other day. Check out him doing that, you can. While you come in, you tell. Other thing, yeah.
Okay, well, you can work with Ms. Thompson and Mr. Knowles to get that right away.
Okay.
All right. Mr. Knowles?
I sent out an email to all the HES members, the Dene language group, by Louise Benally. They invited, I think they're hosting a Dene language conference in Farmington on September 30th. which is like the last day of the first big year. I know it's at that time, but, they were just giving that information to all of the HES members, and I don't know, it's on a Saturday. And it is in Farmington. So I don't know if anybody's interested in attending.
Is there a fee?
Yeah, it's, I think it was 150.
Mr. Chair,
I won't be attending that.
Okay.
Ms. Thompson?
in reference to what Ned,
And
Angie had said, the registration, I did an RDP, I just went ahead and put everybody on there and I did an RDP. But that RDP was sent back to me because I needed some updated information from the Ned language and an updated address. I can go ahead and take yours back out because that paperwork is being sent back to me. The other thing too is, when Ms. Benali sends in the memo for travel for Washington and, you know, wherever you, like the next few weeks of travel that the committee is doing, we're always, Angie and I are always being told who's all going, who's attending, and it just gets really confusing with the staff, with the finance department. So I'm just wondering if the finance department staff is communicating with all of you on whether you're going on travel or not. So that was another issue that Angie and I come up, and that's when we start asking who's all going. That's another thing too.
So our finance department cannot set all the HESC members' name on that one ORT.
Yesterday, I had to confirm. I got an email from Joanne George. And she wanted to know who was going to Denver. And that's where I had to get together with Simonson and Mr. Toth. And I'm not too sure where the communication gap is with that. So I had to be the middle person and let her know that it was the two the two delegates that were going. So Ms. Benali does put all the committee members' name on there. So I'm not too sure what the issue is on that portion.
I guess at this point, you can just continue writing all the committee members on these travel requests. And then just highlight the name or just give them an email of actually who is going. Simple, practically done. I don't know why they're making it so complicated. Ms. Begay?
Yeah, Dave Bennett. The clarification is needed. If the memo does say all, then we're fine with it. But if certain delegates are planning to go on that specific event, then that's where the clarification is needed. I'll probably pay that.
But this is just an ORT, off reservation request travel, that's about it. So once that memo is approved, and then if the committee can come back and say, hey, you know, can you do a TA for me for this travel? That will be all up to the committee member on who's attending, but for the off reservation travel, just have all of them on it.
Okay. Well, to that.
Yeah, it's just an approval for off reservation memo, but for the final clarification that you want, then I think the committee members can contact you to say, or email you to say, I'm going to this event. And then from there, you would just draft a TA for that committee member. That's about it. But you don't need to have an approval for T to start approval of a off reservation travel. You should have get the clarification that uphead right away.
Okay, then we'll do that from there on. We'll do all the members.
Just that off reservation travel member,
Oh.
that's the only thing I'm talking about.
Oh,
And then just
Because-
if it's approved, then that gives us an idea. Staff will come back to us and say, oh, you guys have been approved for the off reservation travel. So now who is definitely going? We need to know, let them finance know so they can do a TA and request for a TA number for you. Simple and done. I just how I see it. Honorable Dr. Nan?
Oh, so can the memo just add another language or a sentence that says the above highlighted individual will be attending on behalf of S. That way, when it's approved of all of our names, let's say for all for Denver, but then only 2 are known, then staff or whoever can just highlight because it's written in the memo, and then if our name's not highlighted, then it's just an indication that we're. I don't know if that'll suffice, but.
Ms. Denali?
Mr. Chair and members of the committee, what I do is I write the memo, I include all of the members to travel. Okay, and then in the language in there, I do indicate that the individual HES member will contact legislative finance to sign a TA. And that's when it's like, for sure you're going. But if you don't go over to legislative finance to sign a TA, then it means you're not going. Okay, so I put that in there, so it kind of weeds out. You know what your schedule is, you know if you're gonna go, and you contact and sign a TA. When you sign that TA, it means you're on your way. And then you can do your
Okay, so I
lobby.
guess we're already doing it.
Yeah,
So we just went forward, what you say. I don't know why we've been talking about it for 5 minutes. Okay, so we're already doing it, so
Yeah.
that's that.
It
Ms.
is,
Thompson?
I'm sorry, you are doing it, yes, but it's just that we get in the middle of it again, if, like, who's going? We get that, I get that, I can share that email with you. But yeah, so that's the only other thing that I have to deal with is who's going. So I'm not too sure why there's a communication gap between Miss George and whomever she reconciles it, so.
Okay.
In-
Ms. Denali?
in the memo, I do put, if you have any questions, please contact me. Even though I'm Karen Coffin. Maybe I'll take that out. And then in other memos, I have said, if you have any questions, please contact the HES member above who are traveling. And that way they can contact you directly.
All right, Mr. Gay?
Let's just clarify, because internally, when the memo is done for the ORT, go to the process, gets approved, then the memo goes to Jackie, she sends it out to the committee members. From there, the original request goes to finance. And then we start, okay, who is actually going, is it all the committee? That's when we contact the staff and get confirmation. So from here on, we're gonna do memos for everybody. So if Delegate Nez gets a TA to Washington and ends up saying, oh, I didn't go. So we'll just put a void on that TA and just file it. Without sheet on Friday. But it's just extra paperwork for us on our end to make a TA for each delegate.
But the current memo already states that the member will contact you to start the TA process. So if the members don't contact you and state that they're going on that travel, then you don't need to worry about being here. This is how it's currently being done right now.
Okay.
But we'll just continue moving forward that way, because all the committee members receive the email once it's approved regarding the off reservation travel. And then from there, we just contact finance staff. And we tell them we're going, and then they do TA. Something, that's what we've been doing all this time.
Okay.
So that's what I mean. I don't know why we're discussing this now, going on to 10 minutes when we're already doing. But I think it's just an internal communication that needs to be fixed and corrected. And then just see everybody, I guess. Okay, any others?
Okay, so who's going to that, Dene language conference besides Dr. Nez?
Jay, you got already said. September 30th, anybody going to Farmington for the Dene language conference? September 30th?
I don't know how to speak my own language.
Right there.
That's on,
Oh, honorable toll.
that's on Saturday.
That's on Saturday.
I don't, I don't got to think about that one.
Okay, that's not. Honorable, wait a minute, he gave some time.
And, Geneva,
Okay.
Honorable toll day department. Honorable unique, but I'll think about it. But change the date. And then I'd like to recognize, Honorable Herman Daniel, for joining us this morning here. Again, it's part of thank you for being here with us tonight. Okay, are there any other staff, any other announcements? Committee members, are there any other announcements? Do you have an announcement, Honorable, Daniel?
No,
No announcement?
thank you.
Mr. Gage? No announcement? Lester, any announcement? No, Chair. Okay, so no announcements. With that, I will go ahead and call for a motion here to adjourn at 9:52 a.m. Do I have a motion? Motion on the made by Honorable Dr. Evans, second by Honorable Toth. Are there any questions for adjournment at 9:52 a.m.? Then we'll we'll go ahead and call for the call. Honorable Lito. Honorable Toth, agree, sir. Honorable Dr. Evans. Honorable Vice Chair Simonson.
Good,
Honorable Carolina Nancy. So with that, if you have 5 in favor, chair not voting, with that, we are hereby adjourned at 9:52 p.m. Thank you. Yeah.
great.